Okay, welcome to this video tutorial about the automated Excel report card production. This is just a refresher course on the training that we had uh, at Kasungu in about the production of the automated Excel report card. So I'll just go straight to how to generate an automated report card. As I said, if you recall that there are three versions of these automated Excel report card tools. There's version 1, which is just a basic Excel automated report card. Macros, you can run it on any computer. So we'll go with that one. Then we have the second version of the report card, automated report card, which is incorporated with the macros. So you have to define the location where you want the report card to be stored after being produced from your machine. So it will require somebody to change the location. So we'll go through all those steps, how to change the location of the folder that you want to store your report card after being produced. And then the last version is just the very simple one, but it's also incorporated with the macros. So the last version of the automated report card, you are not required to change anything in terms of the storage. What you do after you enter your data in the data entry window, after you have cleaned your data and you have pasted in your Excel automated report card machine, then what you do is just to generate report card either one by one, or you generate all the records. And by default, those records will be stored in the documents folder. I understand each and every computer has a documents folder. So it has been made in such a way that you are not required to change anything. So just you are required to enter your data. After entering your data, make sure that your data is very clean, and then what you do is just to generate the report cards. So let's go quickly on what we had at Kasungu. So in this presentation, we're going to look at the meaning of an automated Excel report card, objectives of the Excel automated report card, then things needed to generate a report card, or the requirements, then some cleaning tips. Then we'll look at the procedure and how to generate a report card with the version 1 or the basic 2, and then we'll demonstrate on how we can produce the report card. So number 1, the meaning. We said an Excel automated report card is a digital document created using Microsoft Excel that automatically calculates and generates report cards based on the data entered into the spreadsheet. So we should have in mind that this is just an Excel document, but it has just been automated so that it should simplify the work. Then the objectives, we have efficiency. So the primary objective of an automated Excel report card is to increase the efficiency by automating the process of generating report cards. You know, we have some districts which have got schools more than 100. So for you to produce 100 report cards using the manual way of producing the report card, maybe it could be tedious, or maybe it would take a long time for you to produce those report cards. So this saves time. The number 2, accuracy. An automated Excel report card can help ensure accuracy in calculating grades and generating report cards. It can reduce the chances of errors that may occur during the manual data entry calculation. So you see that the only job that we have after collecting the data from the schools is to clean the data, make sure that everything is up to date, so it will be very easy to calculate, and there will be consistency and accuracy because we will be using the same machine. Then data analysis, this can provide valuable insights into the school performance and the trends over time. So these variable insights are good identification of areas of strength and weaknesses, identification of achievement gaps, i.e. gender. So for us to know that which gender is performing better than the other, we need that. Then you have evaluation of program effectiveness. You know that MELP is just an intervention, so they will need that to check or to monitor that how is the program performing on the ground, so can help to evaluate the effectiveness of the different programs and intervention. So to achieve these objectives, we need to get the data right, get the right data, get the data in the right way, get data in the right way, and get the data at the right data management. So this will act as a first remedy for undoubted outcomes from the automated machine. So let's look at the requirements. Here are some of the documents which will be needed. So number one, we'll need to have the Excel data entry collection template. This is the tool that will be used to enter data from schools. So what you need to have is the data entry template that you send to schools, so that after the results are consolidated at the school level, they will be entered in those data entry collection template. Then we need to have the automated Excel report card tool. Then the data collection template should include the basic information such as we have the serial, zone name, schools, then we have the total marks. So this is the sample data template. We have the number, zone, school, MC number, surname, first name, sex, class, up to total. So that is just an example of how should be entered. And we have number one, that Elena is coming from Boma, school Chitiba, and MC number there, surname Chikopa, first name Joseph, up to the total 237. So make sure the data collection template has 12 columns as shown in the previous slide. So this is very important, and we need to take note of this, because the columns, the total number of columns in the data entry template is the same number of columns in the automated Excel report card data entry window. So these columns must be the same. So before you use the data in the Excel automated report card, make sure the data is cleaned and validated to avoid errors in calculation. So some of the errors to focus during cleaning include, we have zone and school name. Make sure there is consistency in zone name, school name, i.e. spellings in case of zone and school name. Make sure that when we have Boma, it should be Boma, the spellings should be the same. Not the other one should be Boma with the two A's at the end, or Boma with the double O's at the end, and then no, it should be consistency. Then column headers. Data collection template must follow the arrangement of the column headers as provided on the sample template. We had this sample template. So you see that here there is English, Chichewa, mathematics. So if you switch these subject column headers, for example, you start with the math, but when calculating in the Excel automated report card, Those marks for mathematics will be regarded as English scores. So we may end up having the wrong interpretation of the report card. So we need to make sure that we follow this arrangement of the data collection template. The number of schools in standard 3 must be equal to number of schools in standard 4 unless otherwise, where a district has a school whose development is a 3. And then the scores, i.e. English, Chichewa, Maths, must not contain text. So in this case it might happen that the learner did not sit for English, and then the class teacher or the data entry person or the data entry officer indicates AB for absent or a dash. So when we want to use this data for our Excel report card, automated Excel report card, we need to remove any character that is a text in these column headers in this course. For example, if the data entry officer indicated AB, we need to remove that, so it should be blank. The same with Chichewa, if we have observed that or we have come across a certain score which is not a number, we need to remove that one so that it should be a number or a blank. Then sex should never be blank, so we don't expect to have a blank for us to have the correct results, because there is a function which calculates the number of boys and number of girls separate. So if you miss a sex for a certain learner, it means the calculation will be incorrect. Then MS numbers must be correct and consistent in all data sets for both grades standard 3 and standard 1. Here what we are saying is that, for example, we have a school like Gitiba, the MS number is 50, 30, 69. And then in standard 3 you see that the MS number for the same school is 50, 30, 70. It means the calculation will be incorrect. But for the same school, for standard 3 and standard 4, the MS number for the same school should be the same. So these are some of the errors. Before that, it should be noted that a blank score or a null score in this context shall mean that the learner did not sit for the paper, while a 0 score shall mean that the learner sat for the paper but he or she got a 0. So we wanted to differentiate between the learner who sat for the paper and the learner who did not sit for the paper. So where you see that the learner did not sit for the paper, there should be a blank or a null score. While when the learner, a learner who sat for the paper and got a 0, there should be a 0 mark or a 0 score. Okay, so these are some of the errors that we need to avoid. For example, we have a column for zone, school, MS number up to total. Then you see that this school is Chabula, and then there's a certain Chabula here, Chabula. So this will have will create some problems, or have some calculation problems when it comes to number of learners per school. And then Kalolo, then you see Kulolo here. So these things that must be avoided. And then you see the MS number for this school is 504098, and then only this name here is containing a very different MS number. So we need to check all those things. Sex here, you see that here sex is blank. This is not tolerated. The sex must not be blank. And then you see that a score for English here is AB. So This is just to tell us that this learner did not sit for this paper, so we will need to remove this AB and leave blank, so that the Excel report card should automated report card will calculate this one as a learner who did not sit for the exam. So, and this one should be also avoided. We should just write 4 for a class, and then this hyphen here should also be removed during cleaning process. Alright, so note, make sure the data correction 2 has no hidden columns before copying the data from the correction template. So when you send the data correction template or data entry 2 to the zones or to the schools, you know, there are some people who are a little bit, or they have a knowledge on Excel, so they might have some calculations, or they might change some of the text here from lowercase to uppercase and whatever they want to do, but they will create some columns and then they will hide them. So you see this, we have A, B, and then we have E. It means between B and E there are some columns which are hidden here. And then the same thing, F and I, it means there are some columns which are hidden here. The same with here KN and then OQ. It means here we have some columns which are hidden. But if you count the column headers, you see that there are still 12, but there are some columns which are hidden. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we check this before we merge the data or before we start using this data. So instead of having A to L, because 12 columns must be from A to L, not A to S, which means there are some columns which are hidden. So we need to check this, because in Excel, when you are copying the data from an Excel sheet which has some hidden columns, and you are pasting it on an Excel sheet which has no hidden columns, the columns will stretch and may affect your data set or your formulas. So you need to check this before you paste them into your Excel automated report card too. So these are the steps how you can copy the data from the correction 2 to the analyzing 2. Step number 1, you copy the student information from the data collection table and paste them into an automated report card Excel workbook on the data entry window section. Then copy the school information and paste them on the new sheet. Then remove the duplicates to obtain unique values. Copy the unique values and paste them on the unique values columns. So do above steps for all grades i.e. standard 3 and standard 4. So okay, so these steps you appreciate them when we start practical, when we go to Excel. Maybe you might not understand them the way they are here, but when we go to the Excel sheet, you understand what it means. Alright, so this is the sample report card. It should look like this. So after you have entered everything, you need to navigate to the sheet named charts, and now you can enter MEC number of your school. And if you enter MEC number of that particular school in this cell, you need to get a corresponding name to the same school. So it should show the report card of that same school. If that is not the case, then you need to check something is wrong somewhere. Alright, so step 6, you can now export the report card as PDF using MS Excel export feature or print the report directly. So now we'll go to practice on how to generate a report card. Thank you for your attention. See you on the next presentation.